Welcome to Gaming Daddies, the podcast where fatherhood meets the digital grind. I'm Chris, one of your three gaming daddies, and each week, the three of us sit down to talk about the games we're playing, how we balance gaming with family life, and the big conversations happening in the gaming world. This week, we're starting off one of our early 2026 episodes with an interesting topic covering the most disappointing game releases in recent memory, or possibly even in gaming history, as we get ready to have a star-studded 2026 with some major anticipated releases coming up. We thought we would kind of take a reflection back on things that were hyped up, we were all ready to play, but then just did not stick the landing. And then we see if we have any ideas if maybe one of these new games this year will have a similar fate. But before we get into that, let's catch up a little bit. Some parenting life, some gaming, personal stuff, whatever. I mean, this week you can see that we are only two of our daddies. OJ, you're in our thoughts. But he'll be back next week. He's helping move some one of his children into college, I think. Isn't that right? Isn't that what he was saying? Yeah. So what's been happening, ma'am?
Well, as you know, I joined the PC Master Race, so now I've got to figure out how to actually PC again.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I'm excited for you to finally join us, one of us, back again. So that was a lot of the fun. And after I built my PC, just kind of figuring it back out, learning how to ride the bike again. And so, yeah, let's talk about your PC a little bit. For the personal specs that I'm running on my tower, I have a Ryzen 5900X as my CPU, a NVIDIA GeForce 3060 Ti RTX. I got 2 terabytes of storage and 64 gigs of RAM. The brand name is escaping me. I don't think it's a Vengeance, but 64 gigs of RAM regardless, and then running Windows 10, I believe. I keep getting the notification about Windows 11. I'm like, nah, it's not going to happen. I hear terrible things about Windows 11. So, really, really cool stuff. The motherboard, I forget off the top what it is, but it's a cool little gig. I built it. It took a while to build. It was during the time when the whole graphics card mining was a thing. And so trying to find a graphics card for a semi-reasonable price was almost impossible to do. So it was kind of embarrassing, the amount that I've spent for that card that I have on my computer now. But you know what? It's here. Love it. Love using it almost daily. So what do you got in your new baby?
So mine's an Alienware Aurora, and it is it's Intel i7. It's a 13700K series. It also has 64 gigs of RAM. I just checked it. It's a Corsair Vengeance, liquid cooled. The graphics card is a 4060 Ti. Let's see what else. None of the other stuff really matters on it.
Sure.
Yeah. So other than that, the biggest thing was we just kind of lucked into the situation. I was talking to our SRO at church, or not at church, at school one day. He was talking about how he just got a brand new PC and he was loving it. And then, he ended up like missing out on something family life, or, didn't do his morning Bible study or something. And, he was like, I think I want to get rid of it. I think it's just too much of a distraction for me. And I was just like, I'm interested in it. And he was like, okay, he's like, I bought it for $1,000. And I'm like, oh my gosh, $1,000. I'm pretty sure I can't even buy the RAM for $1,000 anymore. So, but anyway, yeah. So all in all, it's been pretty cool. He's like, "Why don't you just before you commit, why don't you take it home, give it a test spin?" And of course, I've already spent, all weekend downloading stuff to it. So I mean, I fully I'm fully prepared to pay for this thing. So
That took a while, so well, that's awesome. I'm happy for your PC journey, and we're all happy to hear about it as you
yeah,
continue along here. So, parenting life, man. Um, Noah's growing, dude, and yeah, I mean, you guys are just here. I mean,
hmm
he's so big. He's got his, I think his second tooth finally broke through. He's not going through the super fussiness that's associated with getting a new tooth in, I guess. So it must have broken through because he's not, screaming constantly anymore.
right,
So, but man, he's eating all kinds of food now. We've got the green light to just let him try everything, like
yeah,
Zootopia, and we're learning what he likes and what he doesn't like, and there's so much fun to be had now in experimenting with giving him stuff, and he just loves lemons. Like he apparently has this affinity for it, and he just loves it. He gets mad when you take it away from him, but he likes
hmm
it a lot. Um, we figured out the cereal situation. A while back, I talked about how the oatmeal stuff he didn't like because it was just too runny. So we just didn't follow the instructions on the container and just kind of made it to the consistency that we liked, and
yeah.
he likes it a lot better now.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, man, it's just exciting times. We're hitting all these cool little milestones, and just ready to see where he goes from here. We haven't quite
Yeah.
figured out crawling yet. We put him on the floor for his tummy time. He'll just kind of like just rotate stationary in circles.
Yeah. There you go.
But he's really good at holding his head up and kind of like in that prone position for a while before he starts getting over it. But in his walker, he started to figure out how to kind of go forward a little bit, and yeah, it's just I don't know, it's exciting times. It never gets old with him. I've had this seeming touch of being able to put him to sleep pretty easily. Doesn't seem like he fights it as much anymore. He's like, it's like once he realizes it's time to go to sleep, he's like, oh, okay, well, this is a good thing. I like sleep, so he's gonna go. Oh, it's cool stuff. Good times. Had a 6-month appointment, and that went really well. Ready for the next thing. It's wild that
Sure.
it seems like now everything's starting to accelerate with him a whole lot faster. Versus when they're like just a few months old and it's not really a whole lot happening. They eat, they sleep, they poop,
hmm
rinse and repeat. But now we're kind of
Right.
being adventurous. So yeah. How about y'all? How's the little Ronin doing?
Well, I mean, he's running around like crazy. Um, now we're just covered in head to toe from bruises and cuts and scrapes and dog bites and all the stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is. But at first I got really, upset. Like the first time that we put him on the rocking chair, the recliner, and he fell off a bit and like busted his tooth and like blood. And first time I got really upset with it and like it's you just can't protect them from everything, so after that,
Right.
now it's kinda like, you warn them, you warn them, you warn them, and then they do it anyway, but it's interesting now, after a couple of months of seeing him move around and stuff, like, the first month of him hitting his head over and over because he's just, like, standing up underneath stuff, and now to watch him, like, duck and look around his environment, it's just like, "Oh, you did learn. Okay, that's pretty cool." Um so it's definitely interesting. It's cool, but it's different. So, but yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean now we're just in the battle of wounds, if you will.
Yeah, and that sucks too. I can't imagine. I'm sure I'll be similar whenever he gets to being mobile and running around. And if he's any
Yeah.
graceful like his mother, then it's going to be, super fun to witness. But just him hurting himself, and you're like, God dang it, I done told you, and now I can't, protect you from it, and
Mhm.
whatever. It's just like you just gotta. I guess you just have to let them figure it out for themselves, and after once or twice, they'll understand not to do that again,
Yep.
that it's like touching the hot plate or whatever. So, that's exciting though. And man, dude, little homie has some wheels on him. He can get around.
Uh-huh.
Seen him walk around the house and just kind of run around and stuff. I mean, he's got some wheels on him. So it's
Yep.
awesome. Dude,
He
he's
wants
growing.
to be held and he doesn't want to be held at all. So
Yeah. Well, there we are. All right. You been doing any gaming?
Well, here and there. I mean,
Yeah.
especially this past week, and definitely I did not get to game as much as I did during Christmas break. But
Oh, sure.
you know, I created another Diablo character. I jumped onto PC stuff, trying to figure out some emulators, get some old classics going, and just being able to get into Epic Game Store and getting into, Steam library and just, seeing what I can play on the
Hmm.
PC. And so haven't really, I've just dipped my toe in. I haven't really jumped in, just to kind of get a gauge of what mouse and keyboard feels like again. And so, but nothing too serious. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe a few hours, but that's about it.
Yeah. I think that's been about the same, especially over the past week and a half. Man, I didn't realize this, but like we just went back to school a week from this past Wednesday, and it has
Mm.
felt so much longer than that. Like so much longer than that. It's just been that crazy around here. Between meetings and events and this, that, second and third. So it's been hard
Mhm.
to find some little bit of time to game and things like that. But I've started a new character on Elden Ring, so I'm kind of playing through that, and that's a completely different experience for me the second time through because I'm not like as stressed about it, like having to learn a new combat system and things. So now I'm finding that I can enjoy more of it now. Now that I'm not
Mhm.
trying to like where every step is like I'm dead, like I'm figuring it out more and things like that. So which is nice. I don't think I have found my next project game that I really want to dive into. I've started some, like I've started playing Hollow Knight. I played an hour or two of Hollow Knight, the first one. And I really
Yeah.
enjoy it. It seems fun. It seems fun. And then I've been trying out Outer Worlds, the first one, and I've played a couple of hours of that, I guess. That's pretty fun too. I like it. It's hard. It's hard. Like, even on normal, it's like it's kind of hard. Like, oh, I have to kind of pay attention or I'm dead type thing. So um, there are some other things I've downloaded to kind of give a try, like Marvel's Midnight Suns. I have on the PS5. I've started and played a little bit of Crash Bandicoot 4, which is fun.
Mhm.
That's more of like a kickback and kind of relax type thing, but I don't know. The hunt for Red October continues, so yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see, we'll see.
Oh, I've got to
Um,
get another. At some point, I need to jump back into. I need to get new Outer Worlds and jump into that world.
Yeah. And I've recently learned that I can use Nicole's Xbox Game Pass on my computer,
Hmm.
like use her account on my computer and she can use it on her Xbox and we can be on it at the same time. We just can't
Nice.
play the same game together. I didn't know that. And if I'd known that, I'd been on it much sooner. So that makes the subscription price for that sting a whole lot less, a whole lot less. It
Yeah.
actually makes it justifiable now. But that could be a whole episode discussion about subscription services and things like that. But
Sure.
before we get into our big topic for the evening, we've had one of our viewers, Aaron, ask several a couple months ago because he's always been curious about what you snack on during our episodes and things like that. And so I figured we'd have a little bit of show and tell. We just got back from Walmart, and I'm snacking on. They make Girl Scout bites now. And so I got like some coconut caramel Girl Scout bites.
Oh, that sounds
They're
terrible.
good. You're not a Girl Scout cookie person?
Definitely not coconut caramel.
Okay.
Tagalongs. I'll do tagalongs.
Tagalongs are good. Tagalongs are good.
Hmm.
I will say that. What are you snacking on tonight?
Oh man, it's basically the same thing I snack on every night. I got my bag of
Nurse
gummy
Club?
worms and
Oh, your gummy worms.
gummy clusters, and then we got a slushy maker for Christmas.
I completely forgot you
So,
got that. How's it panning out? Is
yep.
it good?
Oh my god, dude, it's the best thing ever. So I've got and we get these like Italian ice syrups.
Yeah.
So this is Sprite Zero, which you're not supposed to use 0-calorie drinks. Apparently, it has to have real sugar, otherwise it won't solidify. Um,
Interesting.
so we do like this is Sprite Zero um with cotton candy syrup. So it's like a cotton candy Sprite.
Ooh.
Hmm.
So it's been
But we
hitting
did
for
Code Red's really a good one. Of course, if you like cream soda, do the butter beer.
you. Yeah.
Um, put your little butterscotch syrup in there, makes it even better. Um, Coke slushes. I mean, basically anything with the real sugar in it, it makes a great slush. So,
Nice.
I mean,
That's awesome. Looking forward to hearing about your concoctions as we go along. All right, let's get into this thing. So our topic of discussion today is gaming disappointment, biggest flops in gaming history. Not just over this past year, but even further, just general overview. So today I'm going to use a couple of different sites to help us on this journey. We're going to discuss some games in no particular order, not from anything, just a list. And some of these we know, some of these we may not know. And so when we get to the ones that we just kind of know, we can discuss, why they were such a flop, and we can give our personal takes. Do we agree with it being a flop, even though it was commercially a failure? Was that a failure to us as the player, in our own opinion? I mean, and
yeah.
so I'm sure there's some interesting names we'll find on here. So, we're going to use Game Rant. Game Rant did a biggest flops in gaming ranked article on April 30th of 2025. And then we're going to use a little bit of IGN stuff, just some aggregated information, what they've considered some big flops or disappointments. And then we're going to look ahead to the games coming out in 2026 and see if any of them have to contend with this being a curse or if it will not affect them at all. So let's just jump right on in. So looking at Game Rant's article, listing at number 7, they have Star Wars Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws, this game was released on August 30th of 2024. It was released on the Epic Games Store, PlayStation, and Xbox. The estimated sales units was about 2 million. And this is a big, like, AAA game type thing, or at least, big IP in the Star Wars universe. Have you heard or played any of this?
So I just got Star Wars Outlaws for
Mm-hmm.
Christmas.
Yep.
So I really have not jumped into it, but I mean, obviously I've heard of the horror stories that is um Star Wars Outlaws. Like, it was way too open. It really, like, you would sneak around and then, for no reason you would just be attacked. Like, it was like the intelligence of the characters was not fitting the place. So people would try to be sneaky, and then they would get shot at for no reason. So it just kind of made it not as enjoyable as it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I heard, the people that just went in guns blazing really didn't have a problem with it. Maybe there was a little bit of load issues or, upscaling or something like that, and it wasn't as pretty of a game as they wanted it to be. But
I haven't played this. I've seen it, and I've seen some coverage of it over the years. Made by Ubisoft, who usually doesn't have bad games. It's a really pretty good studio. Star Wars IP. I mean, that's a pretty heavy name, pretty heavy license to carry on your back there. And from what I remember of seeing this, I mean, it looks really fun. I like open world games. I like having the ability to, approach situations as I see fit. Now, I do remember the troubles that it had, especially on launch, but I want to say later patches tried to correct some of those things where it made stealth gameplay a little bit better and things like that. The character, I think I remember people commenting on the protagonist not really being their favorite, but I mean, that doesn't really hit with me the same way. I mean, it just, unless they're just super annoying, I guess. GameRant gave it a 7 out of 10, which isn't bad. That's not a bad score at all, I don't think. But it has listed here estimated budget of 200 million, and it only sold about 1 million units worldwide in its first month, which I guess is not the kind of number you want to see following the release of a game.
yeah,
So the with the way that this game released and the way it was received, it caused Ubisoft to delay AC Shadows for a while to allow them
sure.
extra time to polish it up and all that kind of stuff to see. So yeah, so that's Star Wars Outlaws on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
Yeah,
Uh, say
we'll
what?
see. I'm gonna play it. I'll
Yeah,
see. I'll come back.
sure.
Maybe when I get time, spring break or this summer, I'll have a better follow up for that.
Sure. Looking forward to that. Coming in at number 6 on Game Rant's article is Anthem.
Um,
Anthem. This was who developed this or who released this game?
this is
BioWare.
I was gonna
BioWare.
say
Man, that's another studio that usually doesn't miss. It has estimated sales of over 5 million units. So it did a
Mhm.
little bit better release wise as far as Outlaws, but it released much earlier on February 22nd of 2019. They just shut down live service for this actually. So the final nail was in fact put in the coffin of this particular game. I think last week, as of the time of recording of this, available on everything. You can pretty well get it on everything except for Nintendo, of course.
Yeah.
AAA launch title. And I mean, the premise of this, I remember seeing when it was first premiered at the Game Awards, I think, and it was like a really big deal. Open world co-op game where you can be in teams of 3 and all that kind of stuff or whatever. 150 million budget.
Yep.
Uh, and it just didn't. It had that same issue where it just the gameplay just wasn't good. The live service stuff just wasn't, you know, satisfying to the fan base, like not much being offered in the way of anything. So they tried and tried and tried to breathe more life into this, but it did not.
Mhm.
It just kind of fell off. And so they tried to overhaul it much in the same way that Cyberpunk had like a 2.0 release. They were wanting to do Anthem 2.0, but they decided against it at the end. So I
Yeah.
think that they saw the writing on the wall and they said, "Nah, we're just gonna let this ride out." So, did you ever get to play Anthem at all?
I didn't really have any interest, but, I know it was supposed to be the spiritual successor to, all the Halo games. Um, and, I just don't think it quite delivered on that expectation, so
Yeah, it just rings Destiny like to me. Looks similar to what Destiny was, and that's kind of the so.
yeah.
So there's Anthem. Number 5 on this list kind of shocks me, and I do have a personal opinion on it. So, number 5 is Dragon Age: The Veilguard, released on October 31st, Halloween of 2024, on pretty well everything except for Nintendo. Estimated sales is listed at 1.5 million units. Even more of a disappointment for BioWare than what Anthem was, and a budget of over just a little over 150 million. I don't really understand why this game did as poorly as it did, or why it was received as poorly as it did. Did you ever get a chance to play this?
And hold on, I'm gonna jump into this game really quickly, and I do remember us talking about it, and, I was gonna borrow it from you,
Hmm.
but, then they put it on PS Plus, so I didn't really need to.
Yeah,
Um,
it was put on PS Plus 4 months after its initial release. So if that's not signaling something, then you. But GameRant gave it a 10 out of 10. Um, it was crazy because I love the Dragon Age series.
yeah,
Um, what was the one that came? Inquisition was the first Dragon Age game I've ever played, and I did everything in that game. Like I did all the main mission, side mission content, DLCs, and things like that. And it was just so fun. And the combat that it had was really like you could immerse yourself in it as much as you possibly wanted to. Had tactical camera and things like that. The story was awesome. Man, I guess I just have a soft spot for it. I got Veilguard when it released, and I played through it, and I just don't under. For me personally, I don't understand where this fell off for the broader audience. I don't know if it was like the artistic style, if it wasn't as deep as Inquisition was. But even with the combat changes, I thought the combat was really fun and fluid. Nothing was like tedious to do. The abilities and things that you can do, the way you could spec your character, all the different little mechanics that you learn and incorporate along the way were really fun. The story was awesome, in my opinion. The way it kind of ties back to Inquisition and carries that story forward there was really cool. There, it had typically, typical BioWare. You have your party members that you can go find and do quests for and help them, do their things, and
yeah,
it adopts that Mass Effect, loyalty system where how much your relationship or friendship status or whatever is with them affects certain things in the story moving forward. But yeah, um, that one was a shocker to me because I'd followed it during its development cycle, during its release, and seeing its initial reviews and response from the audience, I was like, oh, I don't know what to think. And so I started playing. And I was like, oh, I don't get it. So I don't know. That's just me. The response to this game apparently led to downsizing at BioWare because it was just another poor release following Anthem and now this. A quote unquote disappointing entry in an otherwise beloved franchise led to downsizing at that studio. And I think the only other one that was not received very well may have been just Dragon Age 2. The first one, Origins, was really good, and Awakening, they really liked that one. And then 2, I don't think was as well received as the first one. And then Inquisition was really good, plus its DLCs. And then, now we have Veilguard. So hopefully that does not spell the end for this franchise because this has a lot of potential. And BioWare is really good about, crafting really strong RPGs. Just look at the Mass Effect series and then this and then, so there's still a lot of potential. And I think there's still a lot of gold to be mined in the hills. So,
Yeah. So here's my theory. Okay. I believe that this game was eclipsed by a really heavy. So Dragon Age was released October 31st, 2024. That would have been 2024 wasn't a huge year, but I mean, there were some really big games. Okay, I'm going to throw a couple of games at you. Black Myth Wukong.
oh,
Okay,
wow. Yep.
you have Metaphor ReFantasio,
Mm-hmm.
Silent Hill 2,
Yeah.
Black Ops 6,
Mm-hmm.
Stalker 2, The Vessel of Hatreds for Diablo 4, and
Mm-hmm.
then let's see, there was also Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Um, so I think let's see a couple of others. Yeah, I would really say those are kind of the biggest ones.
That's a
Um,
saturated release year, though.
yeah. Oh, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Wow.
Okay, that's not a year, dude. That's 2 to 3 months. That's all what happened right at the same
Wow.
time.
So this
So
game got buried.
I think it got buried.
Yeah.
Um, so because I mean, I'll be honest, man. Like I knew it, I knew of it, but
Mhm.
there was so much else going on that honestly, it wasn't on the top 5 list for
Well,
me.
of course, when you have
So
hits like Metaphor that would go on to win Game of the Year, and like
yeah,
you have Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, you have all these heavy hitters and like these new IPs and things making the rounds. It's easy to see this particular title get lost in the shuffle. So I think Veilguard could be something that could be rediscovered, in the future, and then can be, appreciated, like kind of like a hidden gem type thing,
yeah.
and kind of reflected on, like, wow, what a missed opportunity, and wow, how unfortunate to be released and alongside a couple month period with all these other
Yeah.
big hits like that.
But I
Woof.
also don't think people wanted another 120, 30, 40-hour game. Because I mean, I remember playing Inquisition, and I put 140 hours into that game.
Oh yeah, easy.
And so, I don't know what Veilguard, but I bet Veilguard was probably another 80 to plus hour game.
I think by the time I was done with it, it was pretty close to 80 hours.
So, I mean, I think people just kinda put that stigma of plus it being, it's not really a DLC, but it was almost like a number 2 to Inquisition, like, it still had the same characters, it kinda followed the same
Mhm.
um, subplot or whatever. So I think people saw this as, this is more of an expansion. And so I don't
Not
want to
really
put
a
another
first.
80 hours when I've already closed the book on that game.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
or did they even close the book on that game? Because Dragon Age, I don't know, doesn't really have a huge fan base,
Yeah.
um, comparatively speaking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I think there was a whole lot of things going on.
Sure.
But
Interesting. Interesting. I did not realize it was released in a crowded few month system there, a crowded season. Number
yeah.
4 on this list is going to belong again to Ubisoft. A Ubisoft developed game called Skull and Bones.
Mm.
Skull and Bones, released on February 16th of 2024 on PlayStation. I don't know if it made its way to Xbox or PC, but I know it's on PlayStation for sure.
Yeah.
It sold about 1.5 million units. GameRant gave it a 5 out of 10. I do remember this being touted as a particularly, expansive game. And I could be getting this confused with Sea of Thieves. So
Yep.
correct me if I'm wrong, but this had a very underwhelming release and there was just a lot of issues and not a whole lot of, content, not a whole lot of meat on them bones. Another live service game, so that in and of itself presents its own, challenges in trying to establish a fan base and, consistent online playing and things like that. Plus, it had a pretty high price tag. It was like $70, I think, at launch. Um,
Yeah.
are you familiar with this title at all?
I remember watching it come out, and it was kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, man, this looks really cool, but why? Like,
Yeah.
who would I want that? Especially when you could go play Sea of Thieves for free. And maybe this had, better whatever, but it's just, man, there was just no motivation. I don't
Mhm.
understand why they even, thought this game was gonna do well, except for people really liked Assassin's Creed Black Flag and loved the naval ship aspect of that game, and so they
Mm.
thought, "Well, we'll just make a game that just uses Assassin's Creed's, naval systems," and
Yeah.
without the Assassin's Creed title, I think if it was Assassin's Creed Skull and Bones, it would have sold more.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
So,
Yeah, this doesn't seem like a game that would have been for me. While I did not mind the naval combat of AC4, to have a whole game built around it,
mhm,
and that's primarily what you're doing. I think that would have been very vanilla for me. So that definitely was not marketed for me.
no.
Yeah. So moving right along, we go to number 3 on Game Rant's list, Redfall. You remember this game?
I do, I remember playing it when it came out.
What'd you think about it?
I so this was one of those weird like vampire whatever light things, and, I remember the first time I played it, it scared the crap out of me.
Mhm.
Um, Made me really nervous to play, which I don't like spooky horror games anyway. But after the first time playing it, I was like, "Yeah, I don't think I need to play any more of this." So it didn't really drag me in even after the first time I played it, so
Mhm. So, I remember the coverage for this game. They gave it a 7 out of 10.
yeah.
But it felt like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like Left 4 Dead, but with vampires. 'Cause it's a co-op shooter, right? You can play with a party of people.
Yeah, and I can't remember exactly if it was just that or if there was a castle building aspect to it. I can't
Mm,
remember what the secondary action of it was, but it may have just been a siege looter shooter kinda.
gotcha. 'Cause this game was abysmally terrible. Like, it was the release of this was awful. Like, there's no official sales figures according to Game Rant's article and their coverage of this particular game. There's no official sales records that were released, but it's estimated to have sold below 1 million units, which is bad.
Well, I
um,
think I think this was also on Game Pass day
yeah,
1.
and this was on Game Pass, but even with Game Pass and the ability to play on Game Pass, it did not do anything for their player count. There was just
Yeah, no.
seemingly no interest in something like this, and I don't think this would be affected by, other major releases around the same time. This was released on May 2nd of 2023. But even then, even a busy season like that, this is different enough to hopefully attract a fan base. But I think the technical issues, because that's what it was, is it had just a lot of things that were just inherently wrong with it, making it hard to engage with it and play. It's just that's unfortunate because it could have had a good fan base if it just maybe spent a little bit more time in development.
Yeah, so, going back and looking at pictures, I do remember I played the first mission, and you kinda have, like, this compound or this house, warehouse kinda thing, and you go in, and you walk around, and you're kinda stealthing around, and you can go in loud or you can go in kinda sneaky. And you can go in through the front door, or you can kind of sneak up to the upper rails, and you can go in through different windows or whatever. And kind of each area had a big baddie that you wanted to take down, but you wanted to go take down all of their little proteges first.
Hmm.
And then once you kind of release the main warehouse area, then you set up base there, and all these survivors were there, and then you kind of it became this survivor kind of go out and grab stuff and bring back to your base. Um, I do remember that, and I remember being like, after I beat the first warehouse boss or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, I think I'm done. So yeah, it was not very it wasn't very much fun.
Yeah. Fair. Number 2 on the list is a superhero game. Any guesses as to what that superhero game would be?
Is Suicide Squad.
Are you looking at the list?
No, I'm not. I really did just pull that one out.
So Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League earns the number 2 spot
Heck yeah.
on their ranking list with an estimated sale of below 1 million units, released on
Mhm.
February the 2nd of 2024. Just from my own personal recollection of this, this was a hyped up game that they hyped this thing up. You know, I remember seeing the release trailer for this. You play the Suicide Squad, or you play the different members of the Suicide Squad, and you're hunting down like superheroes because they're under control of Brainiac. And you know, you have Brainiac as this big central villain and all this stuff. So it had
Yeah.
everything it needed to be a successful DC game, but it just was not. GameRate gave it a, well, they don't have a score listing here for them, so that's not good. But I will read, and I quote, by almost every measure, Suicide Squad struggled. It received a lukewarm, critical reception, sparked backlash from longtime Arkham universe fans, for people who enjoyed the Batman Arkham games, and suffered from the shallow execution of live service elements due to Rocksteady's inexperience in the genre. Warner Brothers later reported a $200 million revenue hit due to the game's poor performance, bluntly labeling it a disappointing release. Remarkably, post launch support has been more consistent than what more successful titles like Anthem received, lasting nearly a full year. They really tried to get this thing going, and they really tried to rehab it and to recoup losses, but it was bad. This is despite an extremely limited player base, even when the game was discounted by over 50% just 2 months after it was released.
Uh-huh.
That's terrible. And when they finally stopped the support for this game, they like patched in an ending, because this game was released as Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and the plan was to have DLC content to further push the plot forward. You know, DLC focusing on different characters and things like that. But that obviously didn't happen. And so they worked in a convoluted ending to this game to kind of appease or satisfy the player or fan base of it. And that did not go over very well with them. So, yeah, just kind of doomed. I do have this game from PS Plus. I believe I have it on PS Plus. It's on my PlayStation, or I have it on Epic, one of the two.
Yeah.
Definitely a game I got for free and would not put any money on. So, oof. There it is. There
Yeah,
it is.
I wouldn't have even downloaded it. If I put it in my library, it was because it was PS Plus, and I went ahead and got it, but do I have any interest in playing it? No.
I
So,
might boot it up just to kinda see, but oof, that's rough. That's tough bananas there. So the number 1 game on this list, any
uh-huh.
idea what it would be?
Give me a genre.
Okay. Uh, Shooter, a live service shooter. Let me see if I can give you anything else. Huh, yeah, it's a hero shooter, so think like Overwatch, things like that. Um, so it has a paid service in it as well, like a battle pass type thing. Um,
I don't know my
the studio we wouldn't know, and
mhm.
probably for good reason.
I bet I
Uh,
would know
Gamer
it if you said it, but
Gamer gave it a 7 out of 10. So the estimated sales, it says negligible and fully refunded.
oh,
Do you remember what it is now?
I don't remember the
This
name of
was
this game, but
hyped up at the Game Awards, I
yeah,
believe.
I do remember them having to give a full refund to people though. I remember that.
The game is Concord.
Yep, yep.
Oh my god, what a disaster.
Yep.
What a disaster, and
They tried to jump on that live service bandwagon, and it did not take off.
no, dude, 250 million plus dollar budget.
Yep.
8 years of development,
Yep.
shut down just 2 weeks after it was released. 2 weeks.
Plus a
Everybody got
refund.
a refund.
Yep.
Oh, that hurts. They were wanting this to be a flagship game to launch a major franchise for their studio, for Firewalk Studio. Oof. That sucks. Like, and I mean, what can you say about it, right? I mean, you didn't even have time to play it.
No.
Ooh, it hurts. I remember watching that trailer for it though, and it was really good. I was like, "Oh, this looks kind of fun."
A live service game, I wouldn't have played it.
Oof.
I think I played one round of Valorant, and I was like, "No."
Yeah,
I just don't like
yeah. I have a love-hate with, hero shooters, so I like Marvel Rivals, but, man, I've gotta be in that special kinda mood to play something like that, and, this takes
Yep, nope.
man, what a way to top this list. I don't think there's anything that's gonna be, more disappointing than that, at least for a very, very long time. Hopefully never if we
Financially
lesson, yeah.
financially, no.
Oof. Yeah.
Personally, yes.
So I don't disagree with anything that's on this list, with the exception of Veilguard. Veilguard, I just don't. And we talked about how it just kind of got lost in the shuffle of things. And
Yeah.
had it been released during a season where it wasn't as bloated with other major
Mhm.
releases, I think this could have done a whole lot better, especially with the BioWare name and the history with that franchise. So that's Game Rant's article. Let's flop on over to kind of get some examples from what IGN had considered flops or disappointments. And so we've already talked about Anthem. We've already talked about Skull and Bones and Concord. Marvel's Avengers is on this list as well. Did you
Okay.
ever play that?
No.
I've played the first few hours of it a couple years ago. It feels love Marvel games, love all that stuff, but it feels weird. Like it feels weird to play. I don't know if I would ever go back and play that again. Had a lot of potential to be really, really cool, but it just didn't stick the landing
Sure.
in any shape or form. So yeah, there it went. Starfield. Where
Okay.
swung
Yeah.
and missed. Starfield was a disappointment.
Yep.
And did you play any of Starfield at all?
Oh, I put 80 hours into Starfield. I
Did
beat
you
it.
enjoy it?
N Yes and no. As a Fallout, Skyrim Band-Aid, it did the job, but it didn't fill the void. It was just
Mhm.
kinda like there are fun aspects of it. I went around and I picked up random stuff that I didn't need. I went and
Sure.
customized my spaceship. I went and shot things. Did I go mine planets? Did I go make settlements? No.
Yeah.
Um, so
I've put a few hours into Starfield back when I originally had Game Pass for my computer, and then I just kinda stepped away from it because I guess I got distracted by something else. I enjoyed what I played of it.
mhm,
I wish it had a little more to it, but I enjoyed what
yeah,
I did with it, so I might pick this back up and continue on or just restart it, 'cause I mean, I didn't have any gripes or moans. Not as much as other people had, and now with compared to other BioWare releases, I mean, it's not as fulfilling, but there it is. But hopefully it continues to get supported, and maybe they'll have, like, another 2.0 release or something like that. And then, I think the only other big one that's on this, infamously, is, Fallout 76.
what a good game. What a good game. Yeah, we were talking about this. we were talking about this at lunch. I
Yeah.
think for us, I mean, we had so much hype around this. I mean, Fallout 4 came out 2013, and me and you just lived in the same apartment complex, and we were constantly playing this game. And
Yeah.
then we get to, the biggest complaint is that we just couldn't play it together. There was no co-op to it.
Mhm.
And so then they announced, "Hey, we've got a new Fallout game coming out." We were like, "Yes, new Fallout, great." And they were like, "And guess what? It has co-op to it." And we were like, "Sold. Take my money. Don't tell me anything else." And then they were like, "And it's in West Virginia." And I was like, "Ah, man, it's gonna be so cool. Ah, the rolling hills of West Virginia, new place. We haven't looked at this. Oh,
Quote
it's gonna be so
unquote,
good."
the rolling hills of West Virginia is exactly what we both said.
And, I mean, I remember pre I remember pre-ordering the big expensive, like, $150 kit, and Ellen got so mad at me. So Chris had to go pick it up, and Ellen bought me, like, the extended edition for my birthday. I mean, it wasn't $150, but it was so Chris got to have my helmet and map and all the backpack, the canvas backpack and stuff. I was so excited
Oh
for.
my god.
Anyway,
And then
yeah,
all
and
for
then
what?
and then you
Then we
you
boot it up and we're like, "What is going on?"
you walk out of this vault and there's nothing. And there's no people, there's nobody around.
What do you expect in a post-apocalyptic wasteland?
Uh Dead stuff, alive stuff, like, this was just empty, and, like, I walked around and I found some machines, and there was, other people running around, and there was nothing to do. You didn't have anything to shoot. Like, it was just like, "What's the point of this game?" I think I really asked that question. I was like, "Well, what are we supposed to do?" Like, there's no missions. Well well, I guess I'd beat it? I don't know.
Speed run unlocked, boys.
So,
I speed ran a
anyway.
game and didn't even know it.
No. So and I've heard it's a really good game now, and I
Yeah.
refuse to go touch it because I don't wanna be disappointed again.
And that seems to be the story with, like, some of these games because this game really did release and was like, literally, what's the point?
Mhm.
And you walk around and, like, whatever, but, like, what's the point? And
Yeah.
there was just no it was hollow. It was a shell
Yeah.
of its former Fallout 4 glory, and, it so that did it no favors, and then it had this very long road of trying to win player base back, and to give it its credit, to be absolutely fair, they have poured a lot of love and care into this, into trying to improve the experience, to take out things that didn't work, but to add a lot of content to make this what it should have been at launch is the
Mhm.
key there. And so they're constantly trying to improve this. And is it a much better game now because of it compared to launch? Absolutely. Have I played it since launch? No.
Absolutely not.
And so that's the other thing too, is like, what does it take to win your true fan base back into that particular game? Will I ever play it again? I don't know. I mean, I have the disc. I mean, there's nothing stopping me from popping it in and downloading what is presumably the 500 gig update to make it a better game. But do I want to clear out my whole PS5 hardware for that just to be able to give it a shot? I don't think I'm there yet. Now is the Fallout TV show giving me that Fallout itch? Oh, yes. Um, but it's 76 the cure for that itch, or am I just gonna put in Fallout 4 and just be like, "I know I like Fallout 4," or "I know I
Yep.
love Fallout 4, so I'm just gonna play through that again." Probably, honestly. So,
Yeah.
man, what a hyped up game. And what a concept for it. And for it to be open world and even a live service game would have been completely fine, but also give us single player or co-op people a bone and give us the option to live in either one of those worlds. If I want to play open world online, I I should be able to do that and go and hang out with other players. It should be awesome. But I should also have the ability to just say, I just want to play co-op with somebody and have our own little private world where I can just
Yep.
link up with you and hey, let's go kill some muties or something like that. Or if I have no one to play with at the time, I'm just going to plop into a single player world and
Yep.
have the ability to change the instance. And
Yeah.
they dropped the ball on that. So
Yep.
there it is.
So
Fallout 76. Oof. Still hurts, but it's a killer Brotherhood of Steel helmet, though. Tell you that much
it
right now.
wasn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Power armor helmet, whatever. It's all the same, isn't it? It's all the same.
No.
It's all the same. So after looking at those disappointments from very
Mhm.
reputable studios at that, we now have to ask ourselves the question, with 2026 looking to have some extremely big titles slated for release, we need to kind of browse this list and see i- which one of these hyped up games has the potential to drop the ball and flop and go the way of the dodo. So I'm looking at IGN's biggest games of 2026 list. I don't know if you're looking at anything like that,
No.
but so I'll just kind of rattle off some names here. Um, Grand Theft Auto 6. Let's just start with that.
That's the one I had in my mind of
Yeah.
like, I just part
What
of
is
me
the
wants that to flop.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cancel this game 48 hours after release.
Well, that would be so unironically funny, and I think it's
Yes.
more funny because I have no interest in playing it. But, like,
Ugh,
this huge anticipated game that they keep spending hours upon just, like, hyping it up.
and delaying it
It's
and
just
delaying it,
and it's awful.
and it just releases, and it's just a buggy, patchy nonsense, and it's just a big old nothing burger, and it's just flopping all over the place. What? That would kill Rockstar, I'm sure.
It's
Good lord, man.
I would I would absolutely have a heyday with that.
No one would ever let them live it down. They would have to sell. I mean, Rockstar would have to just disband. More like Dull Star, right? Jeez. So, oof. Now, to be realistic, are they really going to drop the ball in Grand Theft Auto 6?
No,
Probably
probably
not.
not.
Are they going to set the new standard for how you make an open world game like this?
No, probably
Absolutely. Should they have shut their grill and not announced anything release date wise until they knew 100% sure that this was going to happen? Yes. And I hate when studios do this. I've said this multiple times on this podcast, but stop announcing your daggum games 12 years before they released. Elder Scrolls 6. 2018 has only got the title reveal of this stupid game, and it's still not out yet.
Well,
Done.
they said they were gonna make Starfield first, and when did Starfield come out?
Like
22,
23 or
23.
24.
Well, 7 years after that, so 2030, that's the new that's the
We've
estimated
had
delivery date.
10 years of freaking Skyrim remasters and remasters and re-releases and 4K, 8K, 12K, just
Special K.
special K. Hey, look, at least that version is good for you. I mean, what are we doing here? Gosh, getting off that soapbox.
I
Um,
will be
Jesus.
I will be so
Insomniac.
mad if they push a Fallout game, though, before Skyrim or the next Elder Scrolls game. I will be
Mhm.
so mad.
Well, they've already started. That's the thing, though, is like they've already started pre-production on Fallout 5.
But they see,
Poor man.
Skyrim, though, was what, 2008, 2009?
I think it was earlier than that.
It would've been pretty close.
Released 2011, 15
Okay.
years ago.
See, and so Fallout was 2012. They could do it at the same time, but they've got to get Elder Scrolls out before they get Fallout out.
And they have to get both of them right. They can't screw this up again.
Well, a new IP is really easy to screw up. An old IP, you just do more of the same with better features, and everybody's gonna love it.
Mm,
So,
I don't know. I don't know.
in my opinion, I mean,
And
I
that
could
that
be wrong about that.
that brings up Insomniac.
Yeah.
Insomniac is well known for just releasing amazing game after amazing game after amazing game, and they just never have anything bad. But they're partnering with Marvel Studios to start their own Marvel universe of games, and the first one out the gate is Wolverine. And so this is a new IP for them, and this has potential to flop because the last Marvel game that flopped like that was the Avengers game. But that was
Yeah.
Crystal Dynamics, so that's a different studio. But Insomniac did the Spider-Man game and the Miles Morales game, and those were critically acclaimed. But can they stick that landing again with Wolverine?
We'll see.
And so we'll just have to see with that. Capcom has Resident Evil Requiem coming, and they just had a big gameplay showcase of that recently. If I'm not mistaken, and where we got a little bit more knowledge of how the game is going to work. 50% Grace, 50% Leon, two different
Yeah.
play styles there, and new mechanics being introduced into that too. So I don't know if that one really has any danger of flopping because just how good RE7 and how RE8 Village was received. I think this one's pretty safe.
Yeah.
But um if I were to keep looking, you had mentioned that you were playing or that you've played High on Life.
Mhm.
Isn't there a sequel to that releasing this year?
Well, okay, so there was a DLC, it was called High on Knife. I did not play that one, but I do remember apparently he was walking around going, "Stab, stab, stab, stab." But yeah, no, there is the High on Life sequels coming out, so, I mean, that would be interesting to see if that's worth the hype or not.
So another one I would bring up to you, and you would have more knowledge of this particular series than I do because I've never played any of them. But the new Fable game is supposed to come out this year. Weren't you a fan of the original trilogy?
Yes, that was on my top 10
Yeah.
of anticipated games.
S- What does Fable have to do for you, a big fan of the series already, in order for it to not flop? Have what you've seen of this so far make you feel safe about it? Or opinion on the upcoming release of this game and what you've seen?
Honestly, the only thing they have to do is just not screw it up. As long as they don't screw it up, it'll be great. I will be happy. I want the same thing that I've had already. Like, that's what I want. I want more of the same, and it's the same thing I talked about with Skyrim. I don't want you to be this creative genius that does this new, whatever. I want the same thing that I've already had. I just want more of the same. So don't try to be creative. Just
Don't reinvent
just
the wheel.
like, yeah, sure, make it fancy, add some new twists and turns, whatever. You can do all that crap. That doesn't bother me, but just don't go crazy, you know? That's all I'm asking. Just don't go crazy. Don't try to reinvent Fable. Put some new mechanics in there, put some cool stuff in there, and then leave it. Leave it alone, and I'll be happy. That's all I want.
Did you enjoy the trailer for this game?
Well, yeah, I mean, it had everything you want. It's like that slapstick, British comedy. It's got, some callbacks to some, older games like the Chicken Chaser. It's got, um, that kind of, oh, what's the word? It's not a parody, but it's very parody-like. So, I mean, it's got everything that I want in it, at
Doesn't
least
take
from
itself
what
too
the
seriously.
trailer looked like.
Hmm,
It's just, are they going to deliver on that, or are they going to, did they show the best of what they had on the preview, or is there still more to come?
sure.
So, um, and then of course, yes, that was gameplay footage, but we didn't really see. I want to see like how the weapons work, how the big draw for me when I was playing Fable was you effectively chose, are you going to be one of your three? Are you going to be a sword person? Are you going to be a bow and arrow person, or are you going to be a magic wielder? and you could be all 3 in some kind of capacity, but you had to kind of allocate your resources and your experience to those things, so you kinda had to choose carefully or late game, um, so again, it's what are they gonna do with it and how are they going to make it work?
Mm, mhm,
Um,
mhm.
so
Oh, good, 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 good. I'm interested in it. Like I said, I'm not familiar with the series, but I would be willing to give this one a try. From what I've seen of it so far, it seems like something I would enjoy. So hopefully that remains the case. So let's talk about another franchise that is very near and dear to your heart throughout your childhood and into your adult years. We have Halo Campaign Evolved coming up.
yes, and
The
I think what makes me most excited about this is not I think it's more nostalgia for the Halo Combat Evolved, um, less because the new title is Campaign Involved. So I think there's enough new. I mean, I've played it so many times. I played it on PC when I was a PC player. I played it on Xbox when it first came out. Um, I played it on so many different things and came back to it so many times. I mean, I got to the point where I can basically speed run that. No, I mean, I can't like truly speed run it, but like I know what to do, when to go, where to go, stuff like that. I can do it pretty quickly.
Mhm.
So, now it's kind of like, I wanna see what they change, how they change it, how that affects the world. Does it make the game more interesting or less interesting, you know? Um, that's kinda what I'm interested in. It almost seems like a restart of the franchise. So I think that's what's exciting for me.
So, twofold question. We'll start with the first one. Is there anything about what they're doing with this? I guess this is just a remake or a remaster that gives you pause that there's potential for them to flop it and to kind of drop the
No,
ball with it.
as long as they don't screw it up. I know they're making some changes. Um, they're adding some stuff to it. So as long as they just don't screw it up, which I don't think they will. I mean, as long with a true remaster like it sounds like they're doing, it sounds like they're going to give it the Final Fantasy VII remake treatment.
Hmm.
They're going to polish it up. They're going to change some of the stuff. You're still in Midgar, they're equivalent to Midgar, but
Hmm.
there's the way you handle things is going to be different than you did in the original game. So, I mean, unless they just make it unplayable, I don't think it's gonna flop.
Now, did you play any of Infinite?
Yeah, I liked Infinite.
Did
I
you?
didn't finish Infinite.
Um, so, gameplay mechanic wise, was Infinite much different than the original trilogy of games?
Yes, because the original game pushed you from fight to fight to fight, and it was very directional.
Hmm.
You knew the direction you were going was going to be to another fight.
Hmm.
And there may be Spartans that you're saving, there may be Marines that you're saving, there may be something else that's going on that you're working towards. Infinite was this open world where you can do all these things, where you could skip it all and be completely optional to go something else. Um, and so Infinite seemed a lot more empty. And
Hmm.
then you went to this crowded zone where you had all this stuff going on, and then it was just empty again. Um, so whereas the other games were so directional that it always felt like I was going towards something, and on my way, I would shoot something else. There
Clear
might
goal.
be a hallway or something,
Yeah.
but I felt like I was constantly doing something.
Hmm.
In Infinite, I did not. I felt like there was a whole lot of running, or drive a warthog, or drive a ghost, or whatever, and
Hmm.
maybe a little battle here and there, but not constant.
Now, do you think this campaign evolved is going to lean to more towards the original trilogy structure, or borrow elements from Infinite and try to open it up a little bit more,
From what
and
I understand,
you
it's literally going to
be a one for one?
it's adding to the original game.
Okay. Mm,
It's not changing the original game.
interesting.
So you're still gonna play the original game in, 1080 4K graphics or whatever it is,
Hmm.
but then there's also new areas, there's new content, there's new story or whatever it is,
Mhm.
plus a crap load of skulls. I think they said 28 skulls.
Yeah, and I think they're adding some prologue missions too to kind of flesh out Chief's story a little bit more.
Maybe.
Um, cool. Do you think this signals either a new trilogy, or this will, based on reception of this, do you think they'll continue to do the same thing for 2 and then for 3?
I don't know. I
Or is
doubt
that
it.
even something that the player base wants?
I think the player base would like to have some stuff, but I don't know. I think your player base is no longer able to play. I think your player base is all 30 and 40-year-olds that grew up on it,
Mhm,
and your young kids don't really know what Halo is.
mhm.
Um, or they played it, but it's an old game to them.
So a chance to
So
build up a new appease the old and then bring in some new blood.
yeah, but I doubt that. I doubt that's really. I think they're just upscaling it for the 30 and 40 and 50-year-olds that have time to play, and none of us really have time to play. So
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes. And
yeah.
then there's really only other 2 more games on this list. The other ones I'm not too familiar with. We have the latest expansion for Diablo 4, which is Lord of Hatred, dropping in April. I don't think that Blizzard can really screw this up, honestly. We already have the reintroduction of the Paladin, which is playing really well. Then we have the
Mhm.
promise of a new class, which I believe will be revealed next month. And, you know, new area to explore, and expansion on the lore and the story,
Yep.
centering around Mephisto, which was completely not something I was expecting them to do. I was expecting, more of Lilith, or
Yeah.
not more of Lilith, but like some of the other prime evils. So this is interesting that they're focusing so much on Mephisto here. So that should be rewarding. And then, I mean, I don't think they can screw this up. Blizzard has become really good about listening um, to feedback, and they do all these PTRs before new content drops to kind of polish gameplay and and all that stuff, balancing and things like that. So I don't see any cause for concern or red flags um,
Yeah.
for this as they close out this Age of Hatred saga. So looking forward to that. And then the only other one that stood out to me was Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake. I don't know if you've played any of those games when
Like
they first
one.
came out. I've played a little bit of Sands of Time, but I did play Warrior Within and Two Thrones, and they were just so fun to play and just parkour
Mhm.
around and kill things and use those abilities and things. So I am looking forward to this remake. Now, the one thing that I do have a little bit of a red flag with this, and I kind of have these with all remakes, is I don't just literally copy and paste the game in better graphics and better frame rate resolutions. I just hope that they were able to look at what worked and what didn't work in the initial release and improve
Mhm.
upon the bugs and the different mechanics in the systems. Like Resident Evil. The worst thing about the original release of RE1 was the camera angles and those fixed camera positions and things like that. So, different things like that. So hopefully it's not just a remake, I mean, obviously it's a remake, but like, don't make it one for one. Make it an improved
Yeah.
system and make it, digestible and just keep the fun of it. So.
Yeah.
They had some anime games on here. I don't know if you're familiar with any of them or have played any of them or any anime type uh, game before, but like they have Seven Deadly Sins and Legend of Heroes and My Hero Academia and all that kind of stuff. So,
Which I mean, we're big. We like Seven Deadly Sins, but as far as the games, normally I'm pretty disappointed with anime games. And I don't know if it's because they don't go fast enough or if they don't play. I don't feel like when I watch an anime, I feel like the main character,
mhm,
or I feel like the character that the story, the main protagonist.
yeah,
And when I play a video game, I don't get that same feeling. I get, and maybe because the pace of an anime is meant to skip the redundancy or the grind or all of that, and then
yeah,
you get in these games and you're just like, I'm supposed to be overpowered. Why is this taking forever?
Mm-hmm.
And
Why is it an
so
RPG when it's not like that? Clearly.
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I would like to be excited about it, but when I've played like the Sword Art Online games, I love Sword Art Online, but I've played the games and none of them just give me the feeling of like, yeah, I feel like I'm in this anime.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, there
I
it
don't know.
is. There it is. Yeah, so that was our discussion on the biggest gaming flops in recent memory. Let us know if we touch base on any of the ones that we've covered. Did you like any of the ones that we covered today? I know I did. I know I liked a few of them. Was there any notable ones that we missed? Drop those down in the comments and hit up our social media on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, all that stuff, and leave your comment. Let your voice be heard. And also kind of answer some of our potential concerns for any releases for major games from major studios this year. I think we're both in agreement that don't think we have much to worry about, but we also said that when Starfield was announced for BioWare as well,
Mhm.
and that we were shockingly surprised. So, the element of surprise is always still on the table. Is there anything else we want to add to this?
Yeah, now that we have the new PC, we can start doing a little bit more stretching out to what we can do, including some live play or some, let's play episodes. Maybe we can round out exactly what we're doing. I think we're talking about having another, Knights of the Round podcast discussion,
Mm,
just to kind of shell out some schedules and see kind of what we want to do. So if you have some specific fans, like favorites that you would want to see, if you want to put those in the comments, let us know. Now that I actually know how to access the comments and I'm not getting blocked by Spotify and I'm not getting blocked by YouTube to be able to see those, I can actually get in there and actually read the comments. Or you're also welcome to email us at gamingdaddiespodcast@gmail.com. So you can leave us some tidbits of information or what you would like to see. We'll kind of reach into the realm of OBS and kind of get into a new world of streaming or anything like that. If that's something that y'all are even interested in. If not, let us know in the comments or send us an email, and we'd be glad to hear what you say. So
yeah, dude.
anyway,
We're a growing program over here. Just like our children, we're growing. We're hitting our
mhm,
milestones. We got little stumbles. We hit the wall sometimes too. But it's very exciting times. I think 2026 is going to be a great time for our ever growing podcast, and that's
yep,
thanks in part to y'all, the people who watch and listen to us yap about games and things for an hour or so every week. So
yeah,
here we are. Sorry we missed last week, but life gets hectic sometimes, kids. I mean, it's just the way it is. Busy
yeah,
life, busy life. But we should be good to go, be good to roll for a good while. I mean, and of course, we didn't have our third man here, Jay, old Mr. Chipman. He's out busy, so he'll be back joining us in the studio next week. Anything
yeah.
else, Tatter? Anything
That's it.
else?
Yeah.
All right,
So
send it home. Send it home.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us today on today's episode of Gaming Daddies. Don't forget, you can catch the audio version of the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want the full video version, head over to youtube.com/Gaming Daddies and join the fun. If you'd like to support the show and help us take it to the next level and pay off this PC that I just bought, consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Gaming Daddies. Big shout out to our amazing supporter, Sean Donahue, still holding the fence.
As you should.
You are the one thing keeping us going, and we can't do it without you. So until next
Keep
time,
that light
this
bulb
has
on
been
over there.
Gaming Daddies, and we'll see you in the game.
See you.